And here to discuss what is next for DeSantis' campaign is Jesse Byrnes from The Hill. Jesse, thanks so much for being here. So next week, the governor will begin what's being called retail politics, which is when a candidate attends local events to target voters on a smaller scale. But how much of an impact does that type of campaigning really make?
Well, it's huge. I mean, this is Governor DeSantis' foray on the national scene. We've seen him for months ramping up to this moment, but really the devil's in the details when it comes to actually meeting voters, showing that he is a personable person on the campaign trail. And, we saw that back in 2015 with Jeb Bush. For months, he got dozens of congressional endorsements. He raised tens of millions of dollars. But when he actually was out on the campaign trail, it was a different beast. And the same thing now faces Governor DeSantis. He has to go out there and prove to the GOP voters that he is the person to take on Donald Trump. He's the person to take on Joe Biden. And we saw a faulty launch last night. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But he has a lot of time to kind of pick up the pieces and really face a tougher challenge going out on the campaign trail and proving that he is the person to lead the GOP after Donald Trump.
So, Jesse, as you know, in the past, DeSantis has held impromptu meet and greets. But what does he need to do moving forward now to convince GOP voters to select him specifically?
Well, he starts with a huge war chest, over $100 million with his super PAC, which is definitely a great place to start when you are going up against someone like Donald Trump, who doesn't need a huge war chest behind him. He has a lot of earned media when it comes to sending posts on Truth Social or making posts, comments in different interviews, this kind of bombast that definitely can drive the narrative in the news cycle for days and weeks. So he has to, on one side, he has the money behind him, but really he has to show that he has the personality and the mettle to kind of go up against someone who has dominated the GOP and has led the GOP and just controlled the conversation for several years now in former President Trump.
So months ago, DeSantis seemed to be picking up steam as the preferred candidate of the Republican mega donors. But there's been growing concerns among donors more recently, namely after his backing of the 6-week abortion ban in Florida. Some are concerned about that stance in a general election. Do you see more donors coming to his aid, or how will that impact that sector specifically?
Well, we definitely see it with people like Tim Scott from South Carolina or Nikki Haley, also from South Carolina. There is this urge for another candidate to emerge who will be kind of the favored candidate on the part of the establishment base, the establishment donors. And so we've seen up until this point this real thirst among Republican donors and Republican, never Trumpers, but also people who maybe voted for Trump one or two times, but still want someone else to kind of take up the mantle for the GOP. And so he has to prove that he's the one to do that. And last night with that rollout on Twitter, 20 minutes of glitches before ultimately kind of having a botched message that was very robotic. He needs to overcome that if he's going to continue to make the case to GOP donors. And he has a real opportunity next week visiting South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Iowa to show that he can engage in retail politics. He has what it takes to go through the marathon, and that will go a long way to show GOP donors especially that he is worth backing.
Yeah, and we'll be following those stops closely. Jesse Byrnes, thank you as always for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.